Important message for everyone from the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. Your immune system is not just a defense, it's your body's entire survival mechanism. The truth is, most people are walking around with weak immunity and don't even know it. And unless you start giving your body the right vitamins, you're leaving yourself wide open to viruses, inflammation, and chronic disease. If you've been getting sick too often, feeling constantly tired, or taking too long to recover, it's time to pay attention. We're talking about the most powerful vitamins your body absolutely needs right now to stay protected and feel strong. Again, vitamin C is the first one, and it's not just something you take when you catch a cold. It's essential every single day. This water-soluble antioxidant works by neutralizing free radicals and regenerating other antioxidants in your body. People in the United States often don't get enough from food alone, even though it's present in oranges, strawberries, bell peppers, and broccoli. Your immune cells, like phagocytes and T cells, depend on vitamin C to destroy invading pathogens. When your vitamin C levels are low, your body's immune response is delayed, and the number of infections increase. In fact, a deficiency can make you more vulnerable to respiratory infections, like bronchitis and pneumonia. Many studies from Canada and the UK show that taking around 500 millirayers to 1,000 millirayers daily can shorten the duration of colds and reduce the severity of symptoms. Yet most Americans consume far less than that in their typical diet. And it's not just about getting sick. Vitamin C boosts collagen production, which is essential for skin, your body's first barrier against infection. Without enough, your wounds heal slower and inflammation spreads faster. Vitamin D is the second one and probably the most underestimated immunity vitamin in the United States. It acts more like a hormone than a vitamin. Over 40% of Americans are deficient, especially during the winter or if they live in northern states or spend most of their time indoors. This fat-soluble vitamin modulates both innate and adaptive immune responses. When vitamin D levels drop, your body's ability to create antimicrobial peptides like cathelicidins also drops. These are the body's natural antibiotics. That's why people with low vitamin D often get recurrent infections, including sinus infections and even more severe issues like chronic fatigue and autoimmune flares. There's a strong link between low vitamin D levels and a higher risk of COVID complications and hospitalization. Studies from Australia have confirmed that people with optimal vitamin D levels were less likely to experience severe illness. You need at least 2,000 IU daily, and many functional medicine doctors in the United States recommend even 5,000 IU, especially if your blood levels are below 40 ng/ml. It's also important to take it with healthy fats for proper absorption, like avocado or olive oil. Vitamin A is the third essential vitamin, and it often gets overshadowed by vitamin C and D. But it plays a direct role in maintaining the health of your skin, respiratory tract, and gut lining, all critical immune system. Front lines. It enhances immune function by supporting the production of white blood cells, which trap and clear bacteria and viruses from your bloodstream. People in Canada and the United Kingdom often think of vitamin A in terms of vision, but it's absolutely essential for mucosal immunity. Retinoic acid, the active form of vitamin A, helps regulate T-cell function and antibody responses. Without enough of it, you'll notice more frequent viral infections, dry eyes, and even gastrointestinal issues. And let's not forget children. Vitamin. A deficiency in kids has been linked to higher death rates from measles and diarrhea. Liver is the richest natural source, but in the United States, most people don't eat organ meats, so supplementation becomes essential. You can also get beta-carotene from sweet potatoes and carrots, but it doesn't always convert efficiently, especially if your gut health is compromised or you're under chronic stress. Vitamin E is the fourth one, and it's another fat-soluble powerhouse. It protects immune cells from oxidative stress by stabilizing cell membranes. In elderly populations across the United States and Australia, vitamin E has been shown to enhance resistance to respiratory infections. It works by improving T-cell-mediated immunity, which naturally declines with age. People on high-processed diets often fall short of vitamin E, despite its critical role in preventing cellular damage. Almonds, sunflower seeds, and spinach are good sources, but many American diets are too low in healthy fats to absorb enough of it. Vitamin E deficiency can lead to impaired immune response, higher inflammation markers, and slower healing. Some research from Canada even suggests that vitamin E works synergistically with vitamin C, so taking both together can double the protective effect. But be cautious with synthetic forms. Always go for mixed tocopherols, or even better, tocotrienols, which are more bioactive and have additional cardiovascular benefits. Vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, comes next, and it's often forgotten when people talk about immune health. But this vitamin is crucial for producing antibodies and cytokines, which are small proteins that help regulate immune responses. People in the United Kingdom and United States who consume lots of processed foods often fall short of B6, which leads to weakened immunity, confusion, irritability, and even anemia. It's needed for the proper function of lymphocytes and interleukins, and when you're stressed, which is basically every day for many Americans, your body uses up more B6. You can find it in chickpeas, chicken breast, bananas, and fortified cereals. But stress, alcohol, smoking, and medications like birth control pills all deplete B6 levels. Deficiency shows up fast as low energy, frequent colds, and mental fog. Supplementing with 2 to 10 milligrams daily can improve immune resilience and restore mental clarity, especially in people over 40. Vitamin B12 is another critical immunity vitamin, and this one especially impacts people following plant-based diets in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. B12 is essential for producing red blood cells and DNA, but it also affects the nervous system and the function of white blood cells. When you're deficient, your immune system weakens and neurological symptoms appear. Things like tingling hands, memory issues, and fatigue. And it's incredibly common in people with digestive issues like IBS or Crohn's disease because it requires intrinsic factor in the stomach to be absorbed. Older adults are particularly vulnerable because stomach acid production declines with age, which impairs B12 absorption. Shots are often used in clinics across the United States for people with severe deficiency, but sublingual methylcobalamin is also effective. Symptoms like constant fatigue, low mood, poor memory, and chronic infections are strong signs you're not getting enough. The standard American diet isn't rich in natural B12 unless you're eating red meat or organ meats regularly. Folate, also known as vitamin B9, completes this group of B vitamins and plays a key role in DNA synthesis and repair, which affects how fast your immune cells multiply and respond to infections. Many people confuse folate with folic acid, but the synthetic form, folic acid, is not easily metabolized by everyone, especially those with MTHFR genetic mutations, which are very common in the United States. Real folate from leafy greens, like spinach, kale, and romaine, is far better utilized by the body. Pregnant women are routinely prescribed folic acid in countries like Canada and the United Kingdom, but folate's role in immunity is just as vital. It supports rapid cell division and the production of new immune cells. Deficiency has been linked to anemia, low white blood cell counts, and a higher risk of infection. And for people with chronic inflammation or autoimmune issues, ensuring adequate folate is essential to calm overactive immune responses and promote tissue repair. Vitamin B8, also known as inositol, isn't officially recognized as a vitamin anymore, but its function in immunity and mental health is becoming more understood. Inositol helps regulate insulin and neurotransmitter signaling, which directly impacts stress levels and therefore immune function. Chronic stress, common in everyday American life, suppresses immunity and creates hormonal imbalances that worsen inflammation. Inositol supports the proper function of the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis, which regulates cortisol output. In conditions like PCOS or metabolic syndrome, where inflammation and hormonal dysregulation are high, inositol helps restore balance and reduce immune overactivation. It's especially useful for people in the United States who face long work hours, high-stress environments, and poor sleep patterns. When your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight mode, immunity drops. Inositol helps reverse that trend. It's also shown to have a calming effect on the brain, reducing anxiety and improving sleep, two factors that deeply influence immune health. You'll find inositol naturally in citrus fruits, beans, and whole grains, but therapeutic doses often come from supplementation, especially in high-stress situations or where blood sugar control is poor. It indirectly strengthens immunity by calming internal chaos and restoring physiological equilibrium. Choline is another critical compound that works in synergy with vitamins to optimize immune function, brain health, and liver detoxification. It's essential for producing acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that not only controls muscles, but also regulates inflammation through the vagus nerve. This connection between the brain and immune system, called the cholinergic anti-inflammatory pathway, is vital. Most people in the United States do not get enough choline, and deficiency is particularly common in women of childbearing age and older men. It's found in high amounts in egg yolks, liver, and certain meats, but those foods are often avoided in low-fat or plant-based diets. Choline deficiency leads to fatigue, poor memory, nerve dysfunction, and a sluggish immune system that reacts poorly to pathogens. It also plays a role in producing lipoproteins that transport fat and immune signals across the body. People with fatty liver disease, common in America due to processed foods and sugar consumption, often have low choline levels. This worsens inflammation and impairs detoxification, which is key for immune regulation. Supplementing with phosphatidylcholine, or CDP choline, can improve immune resilience, especially during chronic illness or periods of intense stress and poor diet. Coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, isn't a vitamin, but its function in energy production and immune defense is so important, it deserves mention. This antioxidant is found in nearly every cell and is crucial for mitochondrial energy production, especially in the heart, brain, and immune cells. Aging populations across the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom often have declining levels, especially if they're taking statin medications, which block CoQ10 production. When CoQ10 drops, your immune cells cannot function efficiently, and fatigue increases dramatically. This is often mistaken for aging, but it's a reversible decline if addressed with proper supplementation. CoQ10 enhances the function of macrophages and lymphocytes, helping the body respond to infections more effectively. It also protects immune cells from oxidative damage, especially during periods of inflammation or recovery from illness. Athletes, elderly adults, and those recovering from viral infections benefit significantly from CoQ10 supplementation. Its role in regulating nitric oxide and improving vascular function also supports better circulation of immune cells. Most Americans don't get enough from food, as it's primarily found in organ meats, oily fish, and whole grains, which are often lacking in the modern diet. Vitamin K is the next one, and most people in the United States never consider its role in immunity, even though it's essential. Most people only associate vitamin K with blood clotting, but there's more. It plays a protective role in the immune system by reducing inflammation and regulating the immune response. Vitamin K2 in particular has been shown to lower levels of inflammatory cytokines like interleukin-6, which can become dangerously elevated during infections or autoimmune flare-ups. People with severe COVID-19 complications were often found to have low vitamin K levels, especially in U.S. hospital reports, during the early waves of the pandemic. The problem is that the standard American diet is extremely low in K2 because it lacks fermented foods. Natto, a fermented soybean dish common in Japan, has the highest amount, but it's almost never eaten in the United States, Canada, or the United Kingdom. Most people rely on leafy greens for vitamin K1, which is good but doesn't offer the same level of immune and cardiovascular support as K2. And if you're on antibiotics, especially strong ones, your gut bacteria, the ones that help synthesize vitamin K, are wiped out, which puts you at an even greater risk of deficiency. This is especially common in elderly patients and hospitalized individuals. The immune impact is serious. Vitamin K helps maintain healthy lung tissue, supports vascular integrity, and reduces oxidative stress on immune cells. It's a silent deficiency that compromises your body's ability to fight infection and recover from inflammation. Zinc is not a vitamin, but it absolutely deserves its place here because its immune-enhancing power is critical, and deficiency is widespread across the United States and Australia, especially in aging populations and those with chronic illness. Zinc supports the development and function of immune cells such as neutrophils and natural killer cells. A drop in zinc levels, even a small one, can impair your body's ability to fight infections. Clinical trials have shown that taking zinc lozenges at the onset of cold symptoms can reduce the duration of illness by nearly 33%. And when taken daily in moderate doses, zinc supports the body's antioxidant defenses and reduces inflammation. In the United States, zinc-rich foods like oysters, beef, and pumpkin seeds are not commonly eaten, and people relying on vegetarian diets or high-phytate grains block zinc absorption even further. It's one of the most common hidden deficiencies in both adults and teenagers. You might notice poor wound healing, frequent colds, hair thinning, and even a reduced sense of taste and smell. These are classic signs. But megadosing can also interfere with copper absorption, so you need balance. Around 15 to 30 milliliters daily is typically safe and effective, especially during flu season or times of high stress. Vitamin B1, also called thiamine, is another underrated nutrient that plays a surprising role in immune function and energy metabolism. The nervous system and immune system are directly connected, and thiamine ensures both are functioning properly. In the United States, thiamine deficiency is rare in the general population, but incredibly common in those who consume a lot of alcohol, refined carbs, and sugary drinks. And in low-income areas where diets are dominated by processed foods, thiamine deficiency still exists. It supports the activation of immune cells and helps produce energy at the cellular level. Without it, the immune system becomes sluggish and less responsive to viral threats. This is especially dangerous in elderly patients and individuals hospitalized with infections or sepsis. Multiple studies from Canada and Australia have shown that IV thiamine administration can improve survival outcomes in critical care patients. Symptoms of low B1 include fatigue, irritability, depression, poor memory, and increased susceptibility to viral infections. The good news is that it's easy to supplement or get from whole foods like pork, legumes, and whole grains, but only if those grains are not overly refined, which is unfortunately common in the standard American diet. Vitamin B2, or riboflavin, is rarely talked about, but it plays a critical role in activating other B vitamins and supporting mitochondrial energy production, which fuels every immune response. Riboflavin also supports the production of glutathione, one of the body's most powerful antioxidants. Without glutathione, your immune system cannot detoxify itself effectively or protect against oxidative stress. In the United Kingdom and Australia, fortified cereals provide some riboflavin, but in the United States, where dietary quality varies greatly, deficiency is often missed because it develops slowly. Signs include mouth sores, cracked lips, fatigue, and recurrent infections. Riboflavin also improves the function of neutrophils and supports the repair of tissues after an immune response. During times of infection, your body uses more B2 to support the increased metabolic demand. Supplementation is often necessary for individuals with adrenal fatigue, chronic illness, or anyone who relies heavily on caffeine or sugar. While dairy is a solid source, lactose intolerance, common across the US and Canada, can reduce intake significantly. Functional medicine doctors often include riboflavin in their protocols for chronic fatigue and low immune resilience. Vitamin B3, or niacin, is another vital immunity booster because it regulates inflammation and supports DNA repair in immune cells. It plays a direct role in producing NAD+, which is the molecule every cell needs for energy and survival. During infection or any chronic illness, NAD+ levels drop dramatically, which limits the ability of white blood cells to kill pathogens. Studies from Canada and the United Kingdom show that niacin not only reduces systemic inflammation, but also protects lung tissue, which is essential during respiratory infections. In the United States, many people get their B3 from processed, enriched grains, which is not ideal, especially if those foods also spike blood sugar and contribute to insulin resistance. Niacin is found in high-quality proteins like turkey, chicken, and tuna, and it helps calm the cytokine storm response, something we saw frequently in hospitalized COVID patients. Low niacin can show up as anxiety, irritability, fatigue, skin rashes, or frequent cold sores. High doses of niacin have been studied for their cholesterol-lowering effects, but for immunity, even moderate daily doses help optimize white blood cell activity, reduce inflammation, and restore mitochondrial function. Vitamin B5, or pantothenic acid, is essential for producing coenzyme A, which helps build and break down fats, supports hormone production, and fuels immune cells. During periods of stress, which are constant for many Americans, your adrenal glands rely heavily on B5 to produce cortisol. While cortisol gets a bad rap, your body needs it in balanced amounts to manage inflammation and regulate immune function. Chronic stress can deplete B5 levels fast, especially in students, healthcare workers, and anyone in high-pressure roles across the United States, Canada, and Australia. Without enough of it, you'll start to feel burned out, irritable, and more prone to infections. B5 also helps produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that plays a role in immune signaling between the brain and immune cells. A deficiency impacts not just your energy and focus, but also your body's ability to mount a proper immune response. It's found in eggs, avocados, and mushrooms, but again, high levels of stress, alcohol, and processed foods deplete your reserves. Supplementing with a B complex ensures you maintain adequate levels during periods of illness or recovery. Vitamin B7, or biotin, is best known for supporting healthy hair, skin, and nails, but it's also involved in maintaining the mucosal barriers of the respiratory and gastrointestinal tracts. These barriers are frontline defenses for the immune system. Without strong mucosal surfaces, pathogens invade more easily and inflammation rises quickly. In the United States, biotin deficiency is relatively rare, but it can still occur in people who consume large amounts of raw egg whites, which contain avidin, a protein that blocks biotin absorption. People taking long-term antibiotics or those with gut disorders may also have reduced levels. Biotin supports gene regulation in immune cells and contributes to metabolic energy, which your body needs more of during infection or recovery. Subtle. Symptoms like skin rashes, brittle nails, and chronic low energy may be early signs of biotin deficiency. It's found in organ meats, eggs, and seeds. And while most multivitamins contain some biotin, you may need more during immune stress or recovery from illness.